Hi, my name is Ilma, and today I'd like to share Psalm 102, 1 to 7. Hear my prayer, Lord, and let my cry for help come to you. Do not hide your face from me on the day of my distress. Incline your ear to me on the day when I call. Answer me quickly. For my days have ended in smoke, and my bones have been scorched like a hearth. My heart has been struck like grass and has withered. Indeed, I forget to eat my bread because of the loudness of my groaning. My bones cling to my flesh. I resemble a pelican of the wilderness. I have become like an owl of the ruins. I lie awake. I have become like a solitary bird on a housetop. Here's my devotional. Like an owl of the ruins. This psalm is entitled A Prayer of the Afflicted when he's overwhelmed and pours out his complaint before the Lord. According to a commentary from EnduringWord.com, this afflicted one borrowed his tone and some of his phrasing from Job, who is the Old Testament's greatest example of affliction. Many phrases also match others in the Psalms. This psalm describes Jerusalem, which is Zion, in a state of ruin. If this is taken as literal ruin, the psalm may have been written by those in exile who mourned over both their personal and national affliction. Adam Clarke followed this thinking and suggested the author could be Daniel, Jeremiah, or Nehemiah. However, in traditional Christian liturgy, this has been regarded as one of the 7 penitential psalms, along with Psalms 6, 32, 38, 51, 130, and 143. In verse 5, as in Job 19:20, he was so weak and thin that there seemed to be nothing between his bones and his skin. He felt like a lonely and restless bird. According to Spurgeon, the psalmist likens himself to 2 birds, the pelican and the owl, which were commonly used as emblems of gloom and wretchedness. Being overwhelmed is the state of the author of this psalm. When we allow the world to run our whole being, we become confused and discouraged. We resort to complaining. It is interesting how the psalmist compares himself to the owl in the ruins. Reflection. Why is it okay to complain and run to God rather than to man? I think the act of complaining to someone is not good for that person who's hearing the complaint, because what happens is that they get so sucked down into that negative complaining or whining that you are doing. So it's important that you complain to God, just like all the psalmists did. David did that, all the other psalmists did that. Because when you complain to God, you're actually seeking his understanding. Even though it sounds like ungrateful, God knows our hearts. God knows everything. And so when we go to him, he knows that we are recognizing him as the one who knows things. So that's also an act of humility, to run to God and complain to him instead of to humans. When you complain to God, it doesn't affect anybody else but you. When you complain to someone else, it affects the person who's hearing what you're complaining about. So when you complain to God, that shows that you know the Lord and that you run to him to be rescued. So telling him what's going on, of course he knows already what's going on because he sees everything, he knows everything. He knows what we're about to say, even we're about to say it. But the act of humility is to go to him and tell him that he needs to follow through his promises, because that means that you know him well, that you know his promises, that you're standing on his promises, that you know that he is going to rescue you. So do not be like an owl of the ruins, as this Psalm is saying. You can compare yourself. Now we're hearing what he's saying to the Lord, but during the time that he was writing this psalm, he was to the Lord straight. He didn't tell it to anybody, but we're just listening to it and hearing it out now that it's in the Bible. So it's important. I used to write psalms when I was so complaining in 2008. It's 2006 when I started to write psalms to God, with all the complaints, with all the pain that I was going through. And somehow, when I did that, it sort of alleviated me from focusing too much on me, but it focused on God's power to heal me. So I encourage you to run to Him and complain to Him. Don't complain to humans, because they won't help you. Thanks for watching. I hope you check my website at ilma'S.com for more artworks and photographs. And I hope you subscribe to my channel on YouTube videos so I could make more videos for the Lord. God loves you, and so do I.